Okay guys, before we dive into the course, I want you to understand fully the values of each individual piece, so that you can make a better judgment in terms of when you're forcing a tactic upon your opponent, knowing which pieces you want to keep and which ones you want to get rid of, this type of thing. So I'm using numeric values here, as in points for the pieces. And most strong players understand that the value of a piece changes based on its position, but this is a very good guide for you to keep in mind. Okay, so pieces value is generally based on its mobility. So for example, a knight, you see it has a strength and a weakness. Okay, its strength is that it can jump over other pieces, it's like agile, whatever. But its weakness is that it is a short range piece, right? It can attack 8 squares from its initial, when it's in the center, but it can only attack squares that are nearby, right? So it's worth 3 points. Right? A bishop can attack far away. It's a long-range piece, but it's stuck on one color, right? So it has a strength and a weakness as well. So it's also worth 3 points. A rook can attack stuff that's very far away, but it can attack both colors as well. For example, it's attacking a black square here. Here it's attacking a white one, etc. So it's worth a little bit more because it can attack both colors and it's a long-range piece. And so that's worth 5 points, right? So a rook is a little bit better than a bishop or knight. And a queen, of course, being a combination of a rook and a bishop, is better than all of them. So a queen is worth 9 points. Very good mobility, can attack in all directions, blah, 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 as we know. By the way, I forgot to put pawns here, but a pawn is worth 1 point just because it's a pawn, right? And again, pawn's value changes based on its position and, you know, blah, 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 this type of thing. Okay, and kings, of course, are priceless, so we don't need to talk about them. If we lose our king or our king safety is compromised, we'll probably lose the game, right? So let's look at this in action. So here's a position here, examples of gaining points, right? In this position, you see white's, okay, this tactic that is occurring here is a fork. Black must save his king here. And when he saves the king, we'll take this rook over in the corner. And how many points is a rook worth? A rook is worth 5 points. So when white gets to take this rook, white will gain 5 points. Okay, very easy to judge roughly how you're doing in the game just by counting the points that you've captured. Okay, and in this case, very similar, but we're taking the bishop, not a rook, so we're going to gain 3 points. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're playing. Feel free to print out the chart of the piece values below this video, and you will be able to keep that in mind every time you're doing a tactic. Think, okay, how many points am I gaining? During the game, you can have a little glance at which pieces have been captured and say, okay, I'm ahead on points. Okay, very good practice to get into. Eventually, it'll become subconscious. Yeah, now we're going to get into the real tactics. Okay, so starting off with pins. All right, see you then.